Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tom Spark and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about some of the most popular VPNs out there, NordVPN and ProtonVPN. Which VPN is better for you at the end of the day? Now guys, depending on which VPN you pick, I'll have links for both of them in the comment and description down below. You should be able to get the best deals on these VPNs by clicking on those links. And as a bonus, you'll help support me on the channel because they're affiliate links. And on sponsored videos like this. So let's get into the comparison right now. So guys, first up, we're going to be talking about the pricing and who wins in that category. You know, ultimately, which one is the better priced VPN? Now, both VPNs are going to be a little bit more expensive than average overall. So it's something you're going to have to keep in mind. They're a bit of a more premium kind of feel to the pricing, at least. Now, if we go to the website and look at the pricing, you could see that ProtonVPN has annual and monthly plans. You could get it for around $10 a month for the full plus plan, which includes pretty much all the features, and there's nothing limited about it. You also have the Visionary plan, which is $30 a month, but that does include Proton Mail. We have annual and 2-year plans as well. The 2-year plan for the standard kind of plan is going to be $160 every 2 years, which is quite pricey. On the flip side, we can look at NordVPN, which is always kind of having these sales, and you should be able to get the best sale going on right now with my link. But it's going to be around $100 for the first 2 years. That said, after those 2 years, it will roughly be around $100 per year. So it does start getting more expensive after the first term. So you're going to have to watch out for that. It's going to be $60 for the first year and then $100 after that and $12 every month. So I would say on face value, Proton is probably a little bit cheaper in terms of month to month. However, long term, it's probably going to be a little bit more expensive, at least for the first term. NordVPN will probably catch up though in price pretty quickly since it does have those price increases. If we're talking about some of the other things and some of the other things about pricing that I look for, I think Proton does a little bit better with not having too many sales going on all the time. It's more clear and transparent with the pricing model and consistent with how it's priced throughout the years. So no matter when you can buy it, you could pretty much get it for the same price. NordVPN's always having different sales going on, which is good sometimes to get a good sale, but it's also the sales are a little bit more than they make them out to be, and usually it's priced around the same actually, but it's a little bit confusing for the customer, kind of being pushed into thinking there's sales going on when there aren't. So actually both VPNs are pretty comparatively priced throughout the year, but Proton just feels a little bit more honest in how it kind of advertises that on the website. That's also because Proton doesn't have any price increases after the terms offered. It also has more than 8 simultaneous connections, whereas Nord only has around 6. So overall, they both have 30-day refund policies though. So NordVPN is probably a little bit cheaper for the first terms offered, but gets more expensive after the terms are expired. Proton is more expensive up front, but upon renewal probably might be a little bit cheaper if you want to do the math in that sense. I think NordVPN will be $100 for those first 2 years. After that, it will be another $100. So for 3 years, it's roughly $200. And we could get Proton for $160 for 2 years, and additionally get a year after that would be around $300. So Nord is still probably a little bit more cheaper. Next up, we could talk about the application. You know, which one has a better application, Nord or Proton? And both of these VPNs have strengths in specific areas. Proton notably has a Linux graphical user interface, and it's one of the few VPNs to actually have that, which is cool. I also think Proton has a better kind of look and feel to its application with a nice dark theme with green kind of highlights throughout the application, make it look really stunning. And it actually has a map-based interface similar to NordVPN as well. That said, NordVPN does have some of the things Proton is still trying to iron out since it's been around for a while longer and just had more development time. NordVPN has a Fire Stick application and browser extensions, while Proton does not. Nord also has a SOCKS 5 proxy support for torrenting and dedicated IP support as an add-on that you can purchase, while Proton does not. Overall though, besides that, they're pretty similar with WireGuard, kill switches, split tunneling, ad blocking features, and obfuscation and stuff like that, which you will need. So if you're looking for some or more of those extra extraneous features like Fire Stick support, browser extensions, SOCKS 5 proxy, dedicated IP, NordVPN is probably the one to go for. But if you want a little bit of a better looking interface and a Linux graphical user interface as well, Proton could be the one to go for in that case. Next up, we're going to be talking about speeds and which one does better, Nord or Proton. And in my test, Proton has the slight advantage over NordVPN to have a little bit more consistent of speeds. Next up, we can talk about the privacy audit. And this is one category. Proton absolutely demolishes NordVPN quite handedly. That's because Proton doesn't use any Google Analytics on its website. It has no trackers on its website, no trackers on Android. It doesn't collect any logs. It offers Proton Mail as a additional service you could check out through their brand, which is kind of a perk we like to look for because it kind of gives you that bundled offering. Proton has not ever been acquired as of what we know, and there's not been any serious data leaks or scandals like that. Although there have been some instances of Proton Mail and respective companies complying with law enforcement agencies, which some people don't like, even though at the end of the day, that's kind of a reality for a lot of VPN companies that become super popular. NordVPN is missing out on a lot of those things, like the fact that it uses Google Analytics, has more trackers on its website, has more trackers on Android, and it did have some security issues in the past with some server vulnerabilities that they later figured out. So overall, Proton does way better here in the privacy audit, and that's just the facts. In terms of customer support, which is better, Nord or Proton, I'm going to give the edge to Nord here. They seem to have more customer support representatives and quicker ticket response times. Although ProtonVPN is no slouch either, they should be able to respond to tickets within 3 hours or so, even though Nord responded a little bit quicker. So they have a slight edge here, but Proton still has pretty good support, and both VPNs do have live chat. Finally, we could talk about stream compatibility, and actually both VPNs are very similar here, giving good performance with both Netflix, Hulu, BBC iPlayer, HBO Max, and Prime Video. Both VPNs are about equal. All right, guys, now that we've made it to the end of this video, which is the better VPN, NordVPN or Proton? Well, as you've seen in this comparison, both VPNs do have their strengths. Ultimately, NordVPN is going to score higher on the tier list, which could mean that for some people, it is the better buy. It's also a little bit cheaper than ProtonVPN too. That said, ProtonVPN does have a much better score in the privacy audit, and for some people who want extra cool things like a Linux GUI, a little bit better speeds, it could also be a solid purchase as well. So it's kind of up to you and what you are looking for, but depending on which one you choose, make sure to click on the link in the description and pin comment so that way you can help support the channel. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video very soon.